I'm going to go over the process of deploying an additional domain controller to an existing Active Directory domain using PowerShell. So I've just booted into a Windows Server Core installation. Even though I'm using Windows Server Core, this will work the exact same using Windows Server Desktop Experience and just using the PowerShell console or the PowerShell ISE. All of the commands that I use in this video will be included in the blog post that's linked in the description of the video. So far I've only given it a hostname and an IP address. The hostname is dc01-core and then the IP address is 10.0.0.11 and the DNS server is the existing domain controller. So I'm just going to check that I can actually communicate with the existing domain, and I can. So the first thing we need to do is install the Active Directory Domain Services role. So we just do install Windows feature, and then the name is ad-domain-services. And then we also want to include the management tools. So we'll just do that and hit enter. Once the role installation is finished, it should say success true, which it does here. So we can just do a get command module adds deployment. adds deploy. So the one we're going to use is the install-adds domain controller. That will promote a domain controller to an existing domain. If you wanted to create a new domain in an existing forest, you could use the install adds domain, or if you want to create an entirely new forest, you could use the install adds forest. But for this one, we're just going to add a new domain controller to an existing domain. So the commands we're going to use is import module adds deployments, then it's the install adds domain controller. For the switches, we're going to use the no global catalog as false, so it creates it as a global catalog server. We're going to not create, well, for the switch create DNS delegation, we're going to use that as false as well. The get credential will basically just get the prompt to ask us to authenticate against the existing domain to make sure we actually have the credentials to promote a domain controller. Critical replication only. This is false by default anyway. This is essentially, instead of it synchronizing the entire Active Directory domain during the installation setup, it only does the critical parts, and then after it's rebooted, it will then continue the replication in the background. Just to, if you've got a really large domain, it can take a while, but generally leave that as false. The database path, that's the standard directory, but you can change that if you want. Domain name, this is ad.moran.com. This is the domain we are going to connect it to. We want to install DNS, so put that as true. The log path, leave that as standard. No reboot is false, because we want it to reboot as soon as possible. Site name, this is the just the default first site name. If you have renamed that, you just change that to whatever name you've called your site. And then the sysvol, that is the standard directory path that it chooses anyway. And then force is just to bypass any of the press yes to continue. These are just the default switches that can be set during the standard desktop experience wizard. However, there are a lot more that you can actually set. I'll put a link to the Microsoft documentation, which has a list of all the switches and what they do, in the blog post in the description. So we'll just hit yes on this, and it should ask us to enter a password. And it does. So the first password is the administrator or an account that has permissions to promote a domain controller. And then the second password is the safe mode administrator password. This is the password to set up the directory services restore mode password. So I'll just enter that twice, and then once we click enter, it will go through the wizard and automatically install and replicate all the features, and then reboot the operating system once it's done. Once the server's booted back up, it'll ask us to sign in. This will just be with a domain account that has permissions to log into a domain controller. Now it's logged back in, we can just log on to a existing domain controller, and then we can just go to users and computers and just check it's actually showing in the domain, and it is DC01 cut. There we go, and that is how you promote a new domain controller using PowerShell.